I know that y'all think that a woman has to have a bad relationship with her father in order to feel a certain way about men, but that's not the truth. Y'all make it very, very easy on your own.
You might be thinking this is going to be one of those videos where Leon opens by listing all of his credentials, you know, doctor, professor, philanthropist, all those things. And I would do that if I wasn't so goddamn confused and befuddled by the stupidity that comes out of an individual's mouth, because in a vacuum, you could think when somebody goes viral for saying something stupid that they're only doing it because they want to be viewed, they want to have likes, they want to have shares, they want to have a platform. But on occasion, I have to think to myself, some people believe in this. And even if somebody doesn't mean it, they have the ability to inspire a moron into talking about how they really feel about said subject and how it's somehow the right thing because they got it from somebody on social media. And that class is the reason why I do this, so that I could teach the young minds how to not be stupid on social media. Today's topic is coitus along with having babies. You all know what coitus is. It's that dirty tango. It's the devil's dance that you do with a man or a woman. It's what happens, and if you don't recognize the consequences of it, you could have disease, you could have long-lasting consequences, or in this instance, you could have a baby. And maybe, just maybe, you're thinking, some people are not well equipped for that, and some people are not ready for that type of responsibility, and I would agree. This person is not only saying that they're ready to have a child, but they only want to have a daughter because having a son means raising a future abuser.
This might be controversial, but I obviously don't care. I always tell my potential partners, if I ever get pregnant with a son, I'm returning it to the sender because I don't want to raise one. I don't care. I don't care. I might as well be one of those people that flip out and cry when they're having a girl at a gender reveal, because I do not want to have a son. I don't want to raise one. I do not want to potentially raise someone's abuser. I don't want to potentially raise someone in this society. I just don't see a possibility of raising someone that doesn't contribute to a woman suffering in some way. And I just don't want to be a part of that. I don't think that it's worth having.
Maybe I'm missing a few steps, but you do the dirty tango, you get pregnant, you spend 9 months going through that process, and at the 11th hour, you push out baby, and baby grows up to be abuser. I feel like I'm missing a few steps here. Oh yeah, you must raise that fucking child to recognize right and wrong, and if you do it bad, the consequence is the child, no matter it grow up to be a man or a woman, will end up fucking stupid and doing things that might label him, under certain circumstances, an abuser. And I'm sorry, to talk so candidly about only boys or sons, as if these bitches don't watch Real Housewives of any state in the South, and we see these bitches fighting tooth and nail to just prove they the baddest bitch in the room, while scamming, cheating, abusing, and lying to each other, not just men, but to each other, as if it's some Olympic sport that they get paid for, is absolutely stupid. And I'm glad that once again this week I can say that my seed of common sense has been inseminated throughout the ether, because of course when a strong independent soul like herself speaks her mind and is seemingly serious about it, she runs, hides, turns the comments off, because criticism is the ultimate kryptonite to people like this. And even with people responding to her, she wanted to double down.
This might be controversial, but I obviously don't care. I always tell my potential partners, if I ever get pregnant with a son, I'm returning it to the sender because I don't want to raise one. I don't care. I don't care. I might as well be one of those people that flip out and cry when they're having a girl at a gender reveal, because I do not want to have a son. I don't want to raise one. I do not want to potentially raise someone's abuser. I don't want to potentially raise someone in this society. I just don't see a possibility of raising someone that doesn't contribute to a woman suffering in some way. And I just don't want to be a part of that.
Returning it to the sender. Who, God? Like, are you gonna abort it? It was 1 million abortions in 2023. You can't tell me that at least half of those were boys. This is funny, but then again, it's not. You need to go heal. Go do something. The fact that you don't want to give birth to a boy is blowing my mind. Oh, I don't want to raise a potential abuser. Like, it's just in a man's nature to be abusive. It's all about who raised them. If you're not a bad person, then you shouldn't have nothing to worry about. If the person you have kids with isn't a bad person, you wouldn't have anything to worry about. But yet, you are still right here, damaged. You need just go get some therapy.
All the last 2 days have taught me is that men wouldn't last one fucking second as a woman. Like, y'all are such whiny little fucking babies. You can't handle a woman saying that she doesn't want to have a son when men have mental breakdowns when they find out that they're going to have a daughter every fucking day during gender reveals. You can't handle a woman saying that she doesn't want to have a son when men are actively killing women for rejecting them. You can't handle a woman saying that she doesn't want to have a son when literal children are committing every other song, calling us a bitch, saying that we're worth nothing more than our bodies. Woman saying that she doesn't want to have a son when 1 in 4 women have experienced either completed or attempted. You can't handle a woman saying that she doesn't want to have a son when every single facet of society and life are impacted by misogyny. The healthcare industry, the music industry, the dating industry, every single aspect of life is touched by misogyny, and you can't handle something that is said online that has no real world impact because it hurts your feelings a little bit. You have to further prove my point by threatening violence against me, by saying things about not wanting me sexually when I never even said that I wanted a man sexually. You don't know my sexuality. It might make you uncomfortable or hurt your feelings, but women will never have the capacity to hate men in the way that men hate women. Our hatred against men will never have the real world consequences that men's hatred against women has had for centuries. Get over it. And maybe consider doing better as the men that are already here instead of telling a woman that she is responsible if the man that she raised becomes an abuser.
Contrary to belief, I actually agree with what she just said, because this is a world where a lot of people bring a lot of smoke towards one side instead of bringing all the smoke to both sides. And if you do the dirty tango with a man and you both are idiots and are failures as parents, and your offspring grows up to be sadistic as fuck or an abuser or a Satanist or somebody who wants to cause harm a bunch of innocent people, yes, it's both of your faults. There's just one problem here. Oh yeah, you're the one making the video, talking as if it's somehow scientifically imbued into sperm all across the world, that as soon as it comes out the womb, it starts to kick ass time.
You guys are the reason that I have such little hope. I don't doubt that I can raise a son that is kind and loving and compassionate and respectful towards women. If I ever get pregnant with a son, I'm returning it to the sender because I don't want to raise one. I don't care. I do not want to have a son. I don't want to raise one. I do not want to potentially raise someone's abuser. I don't want to potentially raise someone in this society. I just don't see a possibility of raising someone that doesn't contribute to a woman suffering in some way. I just know that I am not the only person that has a hand in how they turn out. The people that they would grow up around would be people that are shitty, like you, that would turn them into a piece of shit. So no, I'm not going to have one just for society to ruin. Thank you.
I think a lot of people in her camp who could look at her and say, I understand what you're talking about, and I really want you to explain it more, seemingly don't fucking understand that you could pull up any history book, you can pull up any statistic, you can pull up any example of the here and now in 2024. It all comes down to one thing as a parent. Personal responsibility, which needs to be more of a factor for motherfuckers like you. Because if you want to go through the process of saying that, oh, boys will just grow up to be abusers, look at the world, look how evil the world is, look at motherfuckers wanting to change that and not have their sons be around an environment that could turn them into such a thing. Look at their daughters and say, I don't want you to grow up around this environment. Why? Not because, oh my God, I'm such anti people getting a bag or being a stripper or, oh, living their truth as an alpha male. I just want you to grow up with a fucking brain and realize right from wrong, and realize that if you cater more towards the wrong, you're going to be tooting your ass up to either Big Frida or Big Tyrone. And you won't know what to do in that scenario because you thought for all your life actions didn't have fucking consequences. I understand there's a brigade of people who hate men. I understand that there's also that same type of person, but in reverse, that also hates women and they just so happen to be men. But you motherfuckers are absolutely weird because you somehow got traumatized by somebody somebody, I don't know who, I don't know the circumstance, and somehow think it's perfectly reasonable to instill all that paranoia and bullshit onto the next generation. And then you wonder why these fucking teenagers are running around saying Riz and how much they want to go on rants about how they don't really want to date any dark skins because those light skins are the queens and the dark skins are gorillas in paint. But you can't sit here and think you wouldn't be held responsible for your fucking child being a dumb fuck. And all that lets me know is, even if you had a daughter, that bitch would be a lost cause. But let me know, am I crazy? I know I'm not a parent. I know I'm often the guy who likes his semen where he sees it, but maybe I'm fucking crazy because maybe in a vacuum, all boys just pop up out the womb and say, all right, let me beat on a couple bitches. Maybe I'm missing a couple steps. Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel also for more think piece introspectives like having a son will lead to me raising someone's abuser, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.